Live from WTVO 17 and your home team, Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
A shootout between two cars on New Year's Eve leaves one man dead. Police named the victim as their investigation into the city's first murder of the year continues.
Winnebago County's Health Department unveils a system to schedule who can get a COVID-19 vaccination and when.
Plus, after you shovel all the snow off your driveway, consider clearing another path before heading back inside. Rockford firefighters say thinking ahead could mean saving a life. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. Investigators released the name of the man killed in Rockford on New Year's Day.
Police say the first murder of 2021 took place during a car-to-car shootout near Brown Avenue and Church Street. Officers found 52-year-old Herman Bowser lying in the road next to a wrecked car. He'd been shot. Bowser was rushed to the hospital where he passed away. No suspects have been named. Anyone with information is urged to contact police or Crime Stoppers. Rockford police confirm the pedestrian hit by a car last week has died. It happened New Year's Eve on 11th Street. Police say a 36-year-old man was walking in the road when an SUV hit him. He died at a nearby hospital. Investigators haven't released his name. They say the driver stayed on scene. Officers blocked off 11th Street between Wills and Reed Avenue for nearly 5 hours that night. An early morning police chase ends in the arrest of two men. This happened today around 2 a.m. Rockford police attempted to conduct a traffic stop near Charles and 20th Streets when the car sped away. The vehicle stopped at a dead end. A front passenger reportedly got out of the car and ran. Police caught up with and arrested DeLeon Johnson. Officers say they found a loaded handgun and ammo in the car. The driver, Javon Hickson, was also arrested. He faces charges of unlawful use of a weapon and resisting. In Kenosha, the community is bracing for a decision on charges in the police shooting of Jacob Blake. Investigators say it could come in a matter of days. The city's Common Council is scheduled to take up a resolution declaring an emergency following any decision from the district attorney. In August, cell phone video captured the moment Kenosha police officer Rustin Shesky shot Blake in the back 7 times. Blake was left paralyzed. The shooting sparked days of unrest. 2 protesters were fatally shot.
It was the wrong decision. A lot of people ain't gonna like it. Justice should be served for that man that got shot.
You think they should charge the officer?
I mean, that's justice.
Kenosha's mayor and police chief say precautions will include a demonstration area, limited bus routes, and a city curfew.
Illinois health officials report more than 5,000 new cases of COVID-19. This brings the state total to nearly 985,000. 79 additional deaths, including 2 in the state line area, raised the Illinois death toll to 16,834 lives lost. Close to 4,000 COVID patients were in the hospital in the last 24 hours. Illinois' most recent rolling positivity rate is 8.6%. Winnebago County's top health official outlines the local coronavirus vaccination process. Health Department Director Dr. Sandra Martell says the community can now register to get the shot. The digital system is meant to help prioritize who will get the vaccine and when. Dr. Martell says around 4,500 people have already signed up, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're next in line.
This is not a first come, first serve. So the fact that people saw the slow roll over the weekend and started does not mean that they get in front of the line for vaccination, because the phases are very important to understand.
Winnebago County is currently in phase 1A, which means healthcare workers are receiving vaccines. The tool will also follow up with users asking about side effects and send a reminder about the second dose. Find the mobile registration link on our website, mystateline.com.
Winter break comes to an end, and for many State Line students, so did at-home learning. Today marked the return to in-person learning at several area schools, Harlem, Rockford, and Freeport, to name a few. A number of school districts closed buildings and completed class entirely online after a wave of positive COVID cases around Thanksgiving. Meanwhile, students who attend Belvedere and Rockford Catholic schools will continue e-learning through January 19th. The next time you finish clearing away snow from a recent winter storm, 4 city firefighters say there's one more thing you can do to help first responders.
Shalrave shows us shoveling a clear path around fire hydrants can buy critical time in an emergency.
For firefighters, every second counts when it comes to saving lives. Simple things like having easy access to a fire hydrant are key.
Well, if you can imagine, when we go to use the fire hydrants, it's an emergency situation. So the quicker we can get access to that fire hydrant, the better.
Rockford Fire Inspector Timothy Brown urges people to take the time to remove snow and ice off of fire hydrants in their neighborhood.
We like to see 3 feet in all directions. It just gives us easier access to get to the hydrants.
If it's not done, firefighters have to do it.
That's time taken away, critical time that could be taken away from the incident. You'll see firemen driving around. Sometimes we'll step out of the truck and we'll shovel it out if we're passing by one that's cluttered, but we definitely would like your help. We definitely could use the help of the citizens too.
Mike De La Rosa lives in the Shawwoods neighborhood in Rockford. He says something that can take just a few minutes can help out our first responders and the whole community.
There are some parts of the neighborhood and we have found that hydrants are so covered in snow, and there's some roadblocks there in front of the hydrants. So we are asking all the neighbors to go ahead and clear their hydrants that are near to their properties, clear the snow off of them and do what they can.
Rockford Fire is using social media to get the word out as well, asking you to send them a picture once your nearest hydrant is clear.
We all work as one. It's us and the public together. So you help us out, we can help you out too, for sure.
Reporting in Rockford for your home team, I'm Michelle Rave.
Remnants of last weekend's snowstorm are preventing some parts of Rockford from having their garbage picked up. Ice accumulation in most alleyways in the city means crews will not have access tomorrow and Wednesday's collection routes. That includes garbage, recycling, and Christmas tree waste. City officials say residents can move these items to the side of the street until conditions improve.
A local Y steps in to help the community fill a need created by COVID-19. The Belvedere Family YMCA is collecting household and personal hygiene supplies. They're looking for items like cleaning supplies, toilet paper, diapers, and masks. Y administrators say the donations will go to people forced to quarantine at home due to coronavirus.
The health department is a big part of it, and their contact tracers have found people in need. I mean, when you get put on quarantine, you don't stop being in need, but you're not able to access some of the supplies that you normally would.
Donations can be dropped off at the Belvedere Y on Locust Street through Friday.
Rockford's Festival of Lights sees a record number of visitors during the Christmas season. More than 103,000 people drove through the displays at Sinisippi Park. Organizers say it was enough to shatter all attendance records. Sinisippi was lit up with more than 80 displays from Thanksgiving through the New Year. Traditionally only switched on for weekends, the Festival of Lights opened for 10 straight days to keep up with demand. 2020 marked the festival's 31st year. Wednesday's vote in Congress to certify Joe Biden's win won't just be a showdown between Democrats and Republicans.
Coming up next, some say the fight is really within the GOP itself.
Plus, construction on Rockford's 6-story riverfront library is underway, but city leaders are still debating how the project will be financed. We'll tell you about their plan to avoid a late fine coming up at 6.
Temperatures for us this afternoon really hard pressed to even make it to 30 degrees thanks to the low clouds and that persistent freezing fog. When we will see some of that fog break, if we do at all, and some of your frosty photos. That is coming up in your most trusted forecast a little later.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Eric Wilson, Mimi Murphy, Sports Director Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
An inter-party battle is brewing among Republicans ahead of Wednesday's vote to certify Joe Biden's presidential election win. One side's increasing its pressure on lawmakers to challenge the results, while the other is warning the effort will jeopardize the nation's democratic values.
Washington correspondent Jesse Tenor tells us a general consensus among the GOP is clear. President Trump will continue to be a force within the party once he's out of the White House. Eyewitness News is keeping you connected to the nation's capital.
In my district, they want me to fight for the president. Newly sworn-in Republicans, like Alabama Congressman Barry Moore, don't dispute their own election results, but plan to challenge President Donald Trump's loss on the same ballot.
This is not about theatrics. This is about the future of the republic.
Moore joins a growing list of GOP lawmakers, about 100 House members and a dozen senators, who think election fraud occurred in key battleground states. Recounts, failed court cases, and the president's own Justice Department have said otherwise.
It's not just about Donald Trump. It's about every election that the next generation is going to see come across the ballot box. We've got to make sure it's fair and free.
But other President Trump loyalists, like Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton, are pushing back on these efforts. Cotton said in a statement, objecting to certified electoral votes won't give him a second term. It will only embolden those Democrats who want to erode further our system of constitutional government. Meanwhile, fellow Arkansan, Congressman Bruce Westerman, isn't saying which way he will vote.
I'm looking at the history and the situation right now. It's kind of a fluid situation. I'll make my decision on Wednesday when we've got more facts and data out there.
Westerman notes Democrats raised objections to Electoral College returns following Republican victories in 2001, 2005, and 2017.
It's a constitutional right that members of Congress have.
In Washington, I'm Jesse Tenor.
Now, your first warned weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
There's been a little improvement in some of the visibility across northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin. A live look with our Mercy House SkyTrack camera now looking north along the Rock River here in downtown Rockford. At least you can see earlier this morning and even this afternoon, visibility down under a quarter of a mile in some spots, but very frosty out there. A lot of us waking up to a very wintry scene, a combination of the snow and the freezing fog. And what we had out there actually with the freezing fog formed on branches and trees and power poles and fence posts and even icicles hanging maybe off of your roof was actually rime ice. And there's a different way that rime ice forms than hoarfrost when sometimes we get that clear sky. So here are a couple of pictures that you guys shared with me. Sally sharing this one from Lena, absolutely covered there. Those kind of spiky ice looking crystals, right, coming from the tree branches. This one on a fence, Brooke Elizabeth sharing this picture. Gorgeous. And this one, I had a chuckle at this one. Ellie sharing this. Even the cows are like, what in the world is going on out there? And I'll tell you, it seemed like that frost and that ice just really thickened up through the day as we were stuck with that freezing fog for much of this afternoon. So this is how rime ice forms. We typically get that when we have freezing fog. All those water droplets, because all fog is pretty much just a cloud that's at ground level. So it's made of these water droplets. And these water droplets are super cooled, meaning the temperature of that droplet is below freezing, but it has not frozen because there's nothing to really disturb it to get that ice to form. Well, once that super cooled water droplet hits a surface, hits that branch, hits that post, the bridges and the overpasses, it then freezes on contact. Again, this most often occurs on those foggy nights when we have freezing fog as the temperature sits below freezing or below 32. Now, sometimes if you get a prolonged period of that, you can actually get the weight of some of that rime ice weighing down some of the branches and the power lines. Now, hoarfrost forms a little differently. That's water vapor, which is in the gas form, not the liquid or the water form, deposits on surfaces and it freezes on contact. So it actually skips the liquid process. So we go from a gas to an ice without that liquid process. Now this occurs on clear nights, calm winds, when you've got very little wind out there, and clear sky. That's the main thing when you get kind of the same process as how dew forms. So we have another round likely of some fog tonight. Visibility is improving in some spots, so that's some good news for us. But as our skies begin to clear out, we might actually see some of that fog redevelop and thicken up. So a dense fog advisory extends through early tomorrow morning, and we could actually see some dense fog redevelop tomorrow night going into Wednesday. 28 our temperature in Rockford, 25 right now in Freeport, 26 our weather watcher Bob is checking in with a dew point temperature of 25 degrees. Now we do have a very narrow band of some light snow coming through this evening. That is not going to cause too much of an issue, but there might be some freezing drizzle associated with that. Our skies are clearing out back off to the west thanks to high pressure, but that clearing sky likely going to lead to some of that fog developing, which could linger as we head into the morning hours and during the afternoon tomorrow. I think we might be able to see some sunshine tomorrow, but with that clear sky, that's actually when we could get some of that fog to redevelop again as we go into tomorrow night. Now, these patterns, guys, are really hard to break during the winter time. So you get those low clouds, the stratus clouds, and that's why we have that cloudy sky lasting through the week. System passing to our south Wednesday into Thursday might give us just a couple of flurries.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Leber.
So the Bears do have playoff football to look forward to. That's not something to take lightly considering how rarely the Bears make the postseason. It is hard, though, to get overly excited after watching them lose to the Packers yesterday. They've had one of the most bizarre seasons in NFL history, the 5-1 start, the 6-game losing streak, the late season resurgence. So what do we make of this team? Well, the Bears are exactly what their 8-8 record says they are. They're a middle-of-the-pack team. On a given Sunday, they can play with just about any team in the league, with the exception of the very elite teams that have elite quarterbacks. Yesterday, they did everything right in terms of controlling the football. But the Packers are the team with that Hall of Fame quarterback. But the fact that the Bears did hold up well for 3 quarters against the Packers is encouraging. Shows that the Bears are an improved team from earlier in the season, and they could be a dangerous team in the playoffs. And anything can happen in the postseason with COVID lurking, potentially wiping out an opponent's entire receiver unit or running back group, like we've seen with the Browns and the Saints the last 2 weeks. As for the Packers, now I wouldn't bet against them the rest of the way. I believe they're the favorites to win the Super Bowl, although the odds makers list them second to the Chiefs. The Packers are far from a perfect team, especially on defense, but having home field advantage with the cold weather elements in their favor will be huge. And Aaron Rodgers has never been better. I won't be surprised if he's hugging the Lombardi Trophy next month. Now, lost locally in all the NFL news yesterday was the fact that NIU fired men's head basketball coach Mark Montgomery. My question is, why did it take so long? In 9+ seasons at NIU, Montgomery never once had the Huskies in true contention for a MAC championship. His teams won only 40% of their games and slightly less than that in conference play. Most Division I coaches are shown the door after a run of 3 or 4 years like that, not a decade. AD Sean Frazier showed a lot of patience with Frazier, but a 1-7 start this season was even more than Frazier could stomach. That's sports. We'll be right back.
Our first Warn Interactive Radar, you can find that on mystateline.com. We've got a band of some light snow coming in for us here this evening. That might produce a quick dusting or so. Might even see a little freezing drizzle, although it's mostly all blue showing up here on the radar. We still got some dry air, which might allow some of that drizzle to form, and with temperatures below freezing, it might be some freezing drizzle. Freezing fog will stay with us tonight. Some improvement in the visibility, but expecting that to become dense and lasting through tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Candice.
And thank you for spending a little time with us. Stay safe.